What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Peter Gabriel, and we're back to finish the second album, or Scratch, and the last track is Home Sweet Home, which feels like a very fitting title for the end of an album, the idea of coming home or completing the journey. And yeah, I suppose it could have a much more narrow meaning, and likely will have at least some context that is not related to the album, but as I said, it feels like if you're going to have a song called Home Sweet Home, including it as the final tune on the record seems an appropriate choice. Nevertheless, it's a phrase that is often put on welcome mats or, signs near the front door, whether to indicate the welcoming or cozy nature of the household in a more general sense, or even more specifically to welcome the occupant when they return and get a sense that, they are in their little space, their little nook of the world. But yeah, again, I expect this to have a more particular context for the song. I will try to catch what I can. Let's give it a listen. This is Peter Gabriel. The song is Home Sweet Home, and it's from his 78? I think it's 78, right? Yes, 1978 2 album, also known as Scratch.
This girl called Josephine, I took her up on my machine. We had a little fun, and now we got a little one. Had to get married, feel changed like the town. Finding ourselves a place to live, we put all our money down. Sweet home, home, sweet home. 11 floors up in a tower block. Happy just to have a home. I gotta change the lock. Nothing really worked out right. Things got broke, they stayed that way. None of our friends came round at night. Little Sam got no place to play. We gotta get out of here, Bill, she said. I'll be saying it all the way. When I came home from work that night, she jumped out the window with our child. My home, sweet home. Sweet home. Just a place to take a rest. Just a place to make our nest. Call it our home. When the insurance money came through, it seemed dirty, didn't know what to do. Took out the cash down the casino, down on the wheel on a double O. And I won, yes I won, like I never won before. We walked past over a country house with an antique clock door. Sweet home, sweet home. Just a place to lay our head. Just a moment to say.
Damn. Wow, what a closing track on every level. Like, okay, I'm gonna try to unpack this as best I can. I'm gonna start with the lyrics. A pretty clear story. There are a couple lines in the latter stages that I didn't hear clearly, but most of it I did. And wow, like, I thought in advance Home Sweet Home could be an ironic title. I was thinking it could be like a metaphor, like an emotional place. I think it is a literal place and an emotional place, but very upside down as the phrase means in the end, though at first it's more genuine. So, okay, he meets a woman, they hit it off, they go out, they have a good time. Pretty soon they get serious, they get married, they take their money, they throw a down payment on this nice house, they start living there, they have a family, they have a child, and things are going as they're supposed to, but then they start to not work. There start to be disagreements, and as he says, things stay that way, and they get more complicated and frustrated and painful, and then apparently at the end of a rope, his wife takes their child in hand and jumps out a window and dies, like kills herself and their child along with her. And so he's obviously devastated and just feeling distraught, and then the insurance money pays out, but he feels like it's dirty money. It's, I can't, how am I supposed to take this money that comes from me losing everything I wanted, everything I thought I had, everything I did have up until a point, and now this home sweet home is anything but? What am I supposed to do with this? So maybe just, lacking any other thought, and maybe just wanting to, put this money up to the fates, up to chance, he goes to a casino and puts it all down on a big bet, and what do you know? He wins. He wins more than he ever has before, but likely that's not going to make him feel any better about it, or, provide him some, like, relief or excitement that, now I can do whatever I want. And it's like he drives by the old house, and there it is, empty, like lifeless, and I think it's like specifically like after dark, there's nobody there. And by the end of the song, it's with his vocals, and I think the lyrics too, it's like he's just wailing. He's just, emotionally broken, and, doesn't really know what to do with himself or the money he won or anything. So again, maybe there's a line or two there that I'm misinterpreting. Maybe there's a part at the end that I didn't hear clearly. But yeah, it's like a broken man. And the vocals that Peter does in the end, I think really convey that. It's like he's just emotionally letting it all out, and, unable to control himself or to feel anything but this just pain and misery, just this raw intensity. And yeah, I think it works narratively, vocally, and then sonically. I mean, we have the piano, which is, sort of hitting these big chords, and there's these like organ supporting chords in the background, which is actually the final thing that we heard. Then the saxophone, a very swanky saxophone, which is always something I enjoy. And it's funny, the song isn't like terribly heavy or sad. It's certainly not like light and happy and bouncy either, but it's just this full, rich feeling, which, whether it's the happy emotions at the beginning, the contented emotions in the brief middle, or the pained, distraught emotions in the back third of the tune, it feels like that intensity works at every stage along the way. So yeah, it's like a song, if you only heard the sonics, you might think it's a more groovy and, at the very least somewhat lighter of a tune, but no, I feel like the story here is very heavy, and wow, it makes me wonder, is this something that he read about? He could, of course, just thought of this story as a story to tell, but it sounds like something where, like, you read about something like this happening in the newspaper, and if you're an artistic songwriter, you just kind of run with it, you fill it out, you make it your own. But yes, I do wonder where this came from, or if it was just, a story that he thought of and put to music. But yeah, again, musically fantastic. I love a saxophone. I think his voice is great, and in particular the performance at the end, it's like you feel like he's gone through what the narrator of the story has. And then yeah, the songwriting, clever and painful and very, very heavy in terms of the journey we take emotionally. So yeah, a really great end to a top album. Once again, shout out to Phil. I don't remember exactly what comes next. I'm assuming it's 3/ whatever the picture is on the cover, but we'll get to that one next time. Let me know what you think, and I will see you then. Peace.